Breaking now at 6, tragedy in the backcountry after an avalanche in Central Oregon claims 2 lives.
Plus, Portland State University stands its ground as President Trump takes aim at diversity initiatives.
All of our programs are compliant with the law. All of our programs are compliant with our values.
Then, why you might say a new kind of building boom is helping put home ownership within reach.
You're able to divide it out over 3 or 4 more units and just get more housing into there.
And is the Washington state flag due for a makeover? Why some say it's time to retire the look after more than a century.
Good evening, everyone. We want to get right to breaking news in Central Oregon, where authorities say they have now recovered the bodies of 2 people who were buried in an avalanche. This happened near a snowmobile trail in the backcountry. Search and rescue crews saying they responded overnight to an area called Happy Valley that is west of Bend and north of Mount Bachelor Ski Resort.
The Deschutes County Sheriff's Office confirmed those deaths within the last hour. Investigators say the 2 were backcountry skiing. While their names have not yet been released, the Sheriff's Office says they're a couple with a long history in the community. We'll have more details tonight at 11.
All right, let's take you outside now. We want to check out our sky cams, both up at Timberline in the Cascades and here in the Rose City. And while we saw a brief break between storms today, that's about to change, which means we have now issued a weather impact alert for tomorrow morning.
So let's get right to our chief meteorologist, Matt Zaffino, in the Weather Center this evening. Good evening, Matt.
Hey, Christine, thanks very much. Here's Timberline. It's hard to tell right now because of the lighting, but there is snow in the air right now. So snow has resumed up in the Cascades. It's 30 degrees at Timberline, which is much warmer than it was last week, which led to the dangerous avalanche conditions they were just talking about Central Oregon and throughout the Oregon Cascades. And there is a winter weather advisory in the Cascades for tomorrow. Meanwhile, at the coast, it is raining, 48 degrees there, and the winds are calm. Now, on Doppler radar, you can see the rain rolling into Salem and up on the north coast as well. And there's going to be a lot of rain rolling through Portland tomorrow and some wind, too. It's going to be an east wind at first, then it switches and comes out of the west and southwest later in the day as this front moves through. So expect rain in the morning for the commute. Mild, though, 43 degrees. Still raining at noontime. By afternoon, though, we should break up into scattered showers. We'll get some dry time, but it will be quite blustery. We've got some warm weather on the way and more wet weather after that, too. So we'll have all that for you in a bit, guys.
Appreciate the heads up. Thank you, Matt.
In Washington, D.C., a federal judge has declined to block the new Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, from accessing data at 7 agencies and from firing federal workers.
This is changing day to day. You may remember Oregon was one of 14 states seeking that temporary restraining order, and that ruling comes right after more than 4,000 U.S. Park and Forest Service workers were fired as the Trump administration looks to shrink the federal budget. Those cuts sparked protests in Bellingham on Monday, and some workers, like Liz Crandall, a field ranger in the Deschutes National Forest, told us they were shocked to learn they were out of a job.
It's very, very sad. I feel very sad and very angry and just baffled by this entire situation.
Crandall says she worries these cuts will lead to less campgrounds being open and trailheads going unmaintained. Well, from job cuts to funding threats, the White House has given public schools and universities 2 weeks to eliminate diversity initiatives or face losing federal funding.
John Adams is live at Portland State University. John, what are they telling you there?
Well, they're telling me that the university has reviewed this order by the Trump administration and say they believe they're in compliance, and Portland State doesn't expect any major changes to programs here due to this memo. President Donald Trump has taken aim at DEI initiatives since being sworn in for a second term in late January. First, the president signed an executive order banning DEI programs in the federal government after taking office, and now guidance from the Education Department looks to remove such initiatives from schools.
We read the guidance, and we know we're compliant.
Dr. Ame Lambert is the Vice President of Global Diversity and Inclusion at Portland State University. Dr. Lambert told us the university believes its programs currently operate in compliance with a 2023 Supreme Court decision that made it illegal to use a student's race as a factor in college admissions.
We do not and have never operated illegal DEI programs. All of our programs are compliant with the law. All of our programs are compliant with our values.
The memo released by the Department of Education on Friday told institutions to stop using racial preferences as a factor in admissions, financial aid, and hiring, giving them a 2-week deadline to do so, or they could lose federal funding.
I think if we had any race restrictive programs, we do not restrict any of our programs. All of our programs are open. And so I think illegal discrimination would be restricting a program or initiative or anything to a particular racial group, and that is illegal.
K-12 school districts are also attempting to determine what the new guidance means for them. Both Portland Public Schools and the Beaverton School District told KGW they are awaiting further instructions from the Oregon Department of Education. The department sent us this statement saying, ODE is actively assessing all executive orders that have been introduced and their potential impacts on Oregon. ODE remains committed to making sure students have the tools and resources to thrive, to continue our vision for serving each and every scholar receiving education in Oregon. Now, this is just the latest push by the Trump administration to shake up the education landscape across the United States. Of course, President Trump has talked many times about eliminating the Department of Education that was started back in 1979 by then President Jimmy Carter. David and Christine, back to you.
A lot of changes happening quickly. John Adams reporting live from the PSU campus. Thank you, John. In your headlines, more cases of deadly bird flu are showing up in local veterinary clinics. Over the weekend, 2 cats in Clackamas County had to be euthanized after they came down with bird flu from a raw food supplier in Washington. Today, we spoke with a veterinarian at Dove Lewis in Northwest Portland, where they've treated 4 cats from a single household. 1 had to be euthanized, another recovered and returned home today, and 2 remain in their care.
The best thing that we can do is not feed raw diets that contain poultry. That's the best way to protect them right now.
Yeah, good to know. Vets also recommend keeping your cats indoors, away from birds, as well as bird droppings.
An early morning fire at a North Portland apartment complex forced residents from their homes. Crews say it apparently sparked in the garbage area between the 2 buildings at Lombard and Olin Avenues in the Portsmouth neighborhood. The fire spread up the walls of both buildings, but firefighters were thankfully able to knock it down. No word yet on the cause.
A man charged in the death of a teen who overdosed in his home was unexpectedly back in court today. Hooman Ranamoon was supposed to check in with authorities as part of his release agreement after his arraignment last week, but failed to do so. The district attorney's office says DA Nathan Vasquez saw Ranamoon walking in downtown Portland and had a sheriff's deputy arrest him. Today, the deputy DA asked the judge to hold him on $50,000 bail, but the judge said that was too much for misdemeanor charges. Ranamoon was released and once again will be required to check in with authorities. He's due back in court in March.
And Lori Chavez DeRemer's Senate confirmation hearing is scheduled for first thing tomorrow. The former GOP congresswoman and Happy Valley mayor is the president's pick for labor secretary. Chavez DeRemer will have to win over Republicans who are skeptical about her labor-friendly record and Democrats who believe Trump's agenda is hostile to unions. That Senate committee hearing is set for 7 Pacific on Wednesday morning. We will be streaming it live for you on KGW+.